Alright, I do want to show you a few other things. Because I modeled it this way, which got kind of messy, I will admit, I do want to show you another way to model it, and I also want to show you a few other tips here. So for this thing, if it's getting in your way and you want it to freeze, but you don't want to make it do that, then unfreeze all. Go into here, go to Object Properties. I just right-clicked, Object Properties, turn off by layer, and hit Show Frozen in Gray. And then when you freeze it, it'll stay like that. Now let me just show you one other thing that we talked about in the last video, but I didn't really clarify. That tool I was using to cut loops through my polygon was the Swift Loop tool. And if that is not your hotkey, I was doing Control-Shift-A. If that's not your hotkey, then you need to go into here, go to Keyboard, and then go into here and type in Swift Loop right there. And then if you want to assign, I'm going to Control-Shift-A, assign. That's what was already assigned. And then you can save it, load it, whatever. So look up that tool, Swift Loop, see what it is, then use the hotkey. Anyway, but in this one, I'm actually going to show you how to do this with splines. And I know we've gone through this in our earlier project, but I want to show you again because actually with this particular model, it's probably just as easy to do it with splines as it is with the polygon. It comes out probably cleaner too. Actually, I don't want that in Edit Poly. I want to convert that to Edit Spline. Then I can just take this whole spline and drag it over here. Go into vertice mode by pressing 1. Drag it up. Okay, there's other things I can do, like just do, let's see, let's just outline this like that. And then go into Modify panel, go into Spline mode, select that spline, and go to the tool called Outline. Okay, now you can see I'm creating these, and then we can do things like extrude. Okay, so these wall segments are actually, and I'll show you an even better way to do that. Let's get rid of these extrudes, get rid of this extrude over here, and let's select both at the same time. Extrude. Okay, so now that's that extrude, because it's in italics, you know it's instanced. So if I select this and change the extrude here, it's going to change it on both because those are actually the same modifier. If you want to break that, you hit Make Unique, and then it only adjusts that one. Okay, these are kind of refreshers for what I've showed you before. Now this one you could model the whole thing from the top view like this pretty easily. For the roof, you would just draw a spline, hold down Shift to keep it straight, Shift, and just kind of trace where the roof would be, like so. Let me just do this real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. The roof actually goes here if you look at the pictures, and out to there, and then close spline, yes. Make sure you're in 2.5D. But this gives me a good opportunity to show some other things. Let's select all vertices and turn them into corners by right-clicking. And then just make sure in this view that we make everything coplanar, as we call it. Now extrude it a little bit. Make sure you're only moving in the Y direction. Okay, there's your roof. You can do the same thing with the floor. Now, of course, we need to add a rectangle in there for where that chimney is. It's going to be somewhere around here. Now, what we need to do is move this up to the same plane as our other vertices. Make sure snap is on. Now go into this original spline, go into the spline before the modifier, and then use the attach tool and attach that rectangle. Now when you extrude, it's going to be there like that. Now we need to obviously move these vertices. Let's turn them into corners. I don't like those stray Beziers sitting in there. So you can see how we can get a real accurate model this way or with the poly modeling that I showed you in the previous video. regardless of how you do it. Just create it the easiest way possible, and we'll be good to go. And we'll start recreating that photo based on these simple models that we're going to create.